Karen Langford, and we're finding inspiration in beautiful Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico.
My first discovery? The walkway right along the hotel down to the pool. They've contained bamboo within 3 planters, each of a diminishing size, but all multifaceted and irregular, which keeps it interesting. So when you work in threes, keep in mind that by changing the size and shape just slightly, you can create something really dynamic. So when I returned home, I looked to see what I could find that might be able to give me the same look on a scale more appropriate for my house. Well, I was happy to find these faceted black vases from dwellstudio.com that range from 5 inches to 10 inches, with the smallest one being $15 and the largest being $60. You could quickly pair 3 of these together on a patio, on a dining room table, to create a really interesting setting. Now those 3 vases simply diminish in size. They don't change shape. They're exactly the same, just different sizes. So I started hunting some more, and I came across Janelle Gramling's shop on Etsy, where she has handmade porcelain vases to hold air plants in these great faceted shapes and different shapes. That's the key. You can go both in diminishing size and a slightly different shape. Create even more interest. So you could pick your 3 favorite and place them together and have something very similar to what we had found. Now I took a second look at that inspiration photo and suddenly realized I had an even better idea for a table centerpiece. And it started with this 12 by 12 pebble that is mounted on mesh. You can get a piece of this at Home Depot, Lowe's, or you can even search online for Island Pebble and get 1 or 2 sheets. So now what I did was I took it and I took a 4 by 4 marble tile that I also had picked up at like Home Depot or Lowe's. Now I laid mine on top of a dark table runner. Now that's going to help disguise the mesh that's on the back of this. You won't see it as much. And what I did is I picked out, which you just pull right off of the mesh, some of the stones right in the center. Then I placed my 4 by 4 tile down and put the stones back in loosely around and even on top a little bit. Now when you first pick out the stones, you're going to want to make the opening bigger than your 4 by 4. Since these pebbles are so irregular, you're never going to get an exact spot out to get that 4 by 4 tile in. So you kind of got to play with it a little bit, and then you can piece in stones to conceal it better. Now, I had not gone and picked up one of those great vases from Dwell Studio, but I can totally picture it sitting now on top of this tile. What I did have, however, was a candle. So for my scenario, I threw a candle on it, but this is a great centerpiece and a great reminder of this beautiful trip to Mexico. I think my eyes just must have been keen for finding trios on this trip, because I also saw this little setting, a planter and 2 tables. So what they did is they created a third. They're not 3 identical elements, but it works by using the plant or even another interesting element to anchor the set. Next, I found this great sitting area. You may even recognize it from the intro to this series. But here we have this massive collection of lanterns. Now I've seen these lanterns all over the place. Target, Pier 1, Pottery Barn, you name it. Outdoor lanterns are easy to come across. And here they've created this great impact and almost created sidewalls to the sitting area by just setting a whole series of the lamps to each side. Now the other thing that I could not escape was all of the tropical colors of all of the landscaping. I mean, they're brilliant. I love this color combination, and by using my very trusty color capture app on my iPhone from Benjamin Moore, I'm able to take a picture and find myself an exact set of colors to remember when I get home. I can also get suggestions from them from any of my photos for full color schemes, which I love. I also particularly loved this set of plants. And it's hard to tell in this photo, but there's a great dark purple side and then a green side to each leaf. So when I got home, I pulled together these pieces of fabric and trim, and I'm going to add them to my home office as window drapery. Now, the final piece of inspiration that I found was this wagon display just outside one of the restaurants. Now, it was their Asian themed restaurant, and what they had done is on top of each of those posts is an antique straw Asian hat. Those are hats, and they have had someone make a simple metal armature for them that then can hold a light socket up at top, and they've lit the whole thing up at night. Which just shows you can do some really creative things and create great impact when you repurpose and display things in multiples. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Finding Inspiration. Join us next time, and don't forget to find us on Facebook and Pinterest.